Welcome to the Hamumu Halloween Home Horror Hoedown, the podcast where we watch scary movies so you don't have to.
From award-winning to completely unknown, we take them all way too seriously.
I'm your host, Mike Hummel.
And I'm your host, Solange Hummel.
Now, warning, we use a ghoulish number of spoilers, so watch the movies first.
Second warning, we don't know anything about anything, so don't take us seriously as we take these movies seriously.
For a long time now,
Yes.
I have been planning to watch the movie Longlegs from 2024. Probably since 2024.
Probably. That's not that long. It's only 2025 now.
Is it?
I know it feels like it's been several decades since 2024, but it has not.
But I knew that it was a serial killer movie, so I thought you would be very excited to see serial killers and FBI people looking for them.
I am normally very, very into serial killer horror. Yes. Because that is a kind of horror that is often right up adjacent to thriller, which is really when I'm not working for the people producing this podcast, I really prefer a thriller over a horror movie anyway.
What?
I'm sorry.
There's no ghosts in thrillers?
Nope. No found footage. That's not true. There is sometimes found footage.
Oh, well, I like that.
But it's not the primary vehicle for the story generally.
Sounds pretty lame.
So why did you wait so long if you wanted to see it and you knew this was something I would want to see?
I don't know. It just slipped through the cracks, I guess.
I'll tell you, it might have something to do with the fact that I was not interested. Maybe you mentioned it and I would be like, because I did not know that this was a serial killer movie.
Solely, it's a serial killer movie.
Oh, well, I know that now.
It's not like Slender Man, but just his legs are long.
I think that's what I thought was going on.
Yeah. That's why I mentioned that specific scenario.
I don't think I ever had that full thought, but I do think I was like, meh, I don't really need an internet meme movie.
Yeah, I feel like this guy's legs weren't that long.
They weren't long at all. I don't know what.
He was just normal size.
He was just a normal person. I mean,
he was not normal.
Not a normal person. He was a normal shaped person. I mean,
except
he was
the shape of his head.
He was a normal shaped person if you think Nicolas Cage is shaped like a normal person.
Well, that's the crazy bit. Like, this is listed on IMDb as like, hey, it's a Nicolas Cage movie. I had no idea, even through watching this movie, until the very last scene that he was in. And I was like, wait a minute. Is that Nicolas Cage in there?
What's super funny is that while we were, at the beginning, I even made the comment, Nicolas Cage is one of the producers of this movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, probably just money or something.
Just money and starring.
All it took was a little bit of white face paint and
there was
unrecognizable.
There was more than the face paint.
There were several scenes where they only filmed the bottom half of his face.
Huh. Yeah, he was because his legs were so long that they couldn't get the camera up there.
But they weren't.
Apparently they were.
He was just a normal person. Maybe he looked like he was long, like his legs were long because he was preying on children much of the time, but they weren't the ones that called him that. He was the one who called him that.
Yeah, I don't know what the premise is of him being long legs. But the story is that he's like a serial killer, but he doesn't appear to ever actually kill anybody. He seems to somehow convince them to kill their family and then themselves. And the FBI is going, how? What's happening? Who is this?
Yeah.
And so forth.
There's a lot of theories. And there is this young, new FBI agent, very Silence of the Lambs.
This movie was very Silence of the Lambs.
It really was.
And Seven.
And, so there's this new agent who, gets in over her head and then finds out by interacting with various aspects of this case that she is more connected to it than she thinks she is.
She is very connected.
She's very connected.
She's also psychic, which is revealed, or, I guess we don't know for sure, but right off the bat, first couple scenes.
Is she, though? Because he's like, how did you do it? And she's like, I got just as many wrong as I got right. it sort of felt like she was saying, like, or like the movie was saying, like, they really wanted her to be psychic, so they took the data where it was 50-50 and were like, well, I guess that means she is.
Wait. She got half of them right on the quiz of, we picked a number from 0 to 100. What's the number? So
Okay.
Getting half of those right is very impressive.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess she was. Like, in one of the early scenes, she's like, that's the house. He's in there.
That
and
was
she
her
can just
being
feel
psychic.
it. But apparently, she couldn't feel it so much that she wanted to actually pay attention and keep her partner from getting shot to death.
No, she might not have liked him, though.
She should have been fired for that. Like, that was gross incompetence on her part.
Yeah, but only because she's psychic, and that's really unfair to hold her to psychic standards.
No, I disagree. Gross incompetence, even by general police work standards, because he clearly established, I'm going to go up and knock, and you're going to be the one that hangs back.
Yeah.
And the one that hangs back is supposed to be covering the one who knocks.
I would think.
And he went up and knocked as he proposed, and she hung back.
She was just like
staring off into
checking
space.
out the flowers.
Like, literally, she has just told him the serial killer is in this house, and as the door opens, she's like gazing off down the street or whatever. Like, pay attention, girl.
Yeah, but that was her personality and her MO. This whole movie is about this woman who is she's just not there. She's checked out. From the beginning of the movie to the end, she's just like depressed, disconnected, and it is not fun to watch.
No. It really wasn't.
I know.
Like, it really wasn't. And even more, like, it started even before we knew that about her, because it started with the whole beginning of the movie. It was very clear from the beginning that it was one of those movies that was going to use color and oversaturation and undersaturation and
A lot of undersaturation.
sounds and like all this production value in order to build the tension. Mm-hmm. And immediately, like, unfortunately, within 30 seconds of the movie starting, I was like, ugh. I don't.
I mean, that's FBI movies. They're supposed to look like that.
No, it's. Okay, here's the thing. It's the difference between like a Criminal Minds FBI sort of thing where it's very character driven and very story driven, and like all those, Murder in Iceland kind of things where it's like this, where all the characters are kind of speaking in their own, like, no one
Icelandic.
is connected. How dare they?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, there's characters who will be having conversations, and it's like they're having two different conversations.
Yeah, totally.
Because the whole point is everyone is so disconnected and in their own heads and only thinking about what they're thinking about.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, it's all about the mood, and that mood is somber AF.
Yes. And like you described her, depressed, very moody, it's the lack of connection.
Yeah.
No one is interacting with anyone else on a real level because they're so absorbed in their own feelings that they don't even recognize that the other people have feelings, much less know how to interact with them.
Well, yeah, and they take that to like other levels beyond the actual character interaction, where we have like they're working at the FBI, but her and her boss are basically the only people you ever see. And it's like, this should be a building bustling with activity, but it's just empty rooms and just the two of them.
There's the one other lady who's kind of like in the middle, like maybe she's a more experienced version of the young woman. Like,
yeah, but she
another
barely
agent
shows up.
Who occasionally drives and, is like sometimes there, and she seems the most like well-adjusted of all of them. But of course, like you said, she's only...
That's why she can't be in the movie.
Right. She's only like marginally there when they need to actually have someone who understands. Because like the one point where she goes, thanks for coming with me. And the woman is like, yeah, I wasn't going to let you drive after what you just experienced.
Yeah.
Like recognizing there's going to be some emotional trauma that just happened to you.
If you have emotions.
But yeah, the young agent was just like, whatever. Some guy died in front of me by smashing his face into the table repeatedly. It's fine.
It's fine. Whatever. I mean, yeah, she's
I don't need
haunted
therapy.
by the devil, so that's okay. But yeah, this kind of slow dark, grim, moody thing. That's kind of my kind of horror movie. I enjoy that, but not here. It just did not work for me. I'm just like, I needed the main character to be somebody, I don't know, who was doing more than just drifting along through the story.
Drifting along. Yeah. Okay, so for like her boss, for example, the culminating scene is that her boss's daughter is having a birthday, which is like beaten into us multiple times.
Everybody's birthday is beaten into us.
Her birthday, the boss's birthday. I'm like, okay, we get it. You only need to say it once. You're chasing a guy who kills people on their birthdays. Like, you mention the birthday once and everyone's like, oh, that person's in danger. Yeah. You don't need to do it 4 times. But this boss's daughter, and by the way, he's like, this guy's he goes after little girls on their birthday. It's part of a whole algorithm that he, that she's figured out. We all know this is going to happen. And he's just like, whatever. He doesn't send his daughter away. He doesn't do anything.
His daughter, his birthday is immediately coming up.
A weird package shows up at his door. He's not suspicious at all, even though he's been investigating murders that involve people getting weird dolls.
Well, that was I guess as soon as you get the doll, your brain is messed up, maybe. But absolutely, as soon as he saw that doll, he would have immediately thought of the doll they found, which they know was connected to the case. So, yeah, it had to be that the doll made him crazy right away.
Except it didn't until it was opened.
Yeah, but he didn't see it until it was opened.
So you're telling me that at this other crime scene that had a doll that looked exactly like the girl who was murdered, there was no sign of the packaging that this doll came in?
Well, now that you mention that, I feel like we never saw. They must.
Did the mom?
I guess the mom takes the dolls and the packaging away, because they never knew these dolls existed until they found the one in the barn at that one house.
Oh.
So that's somebody's taking away these dolls. I
didn't see her taking them away afterwards. Like, we got a whole montage of her bringing all the dolls in the brown paperback boxes, tied up with string. A whole montage of her bringing them to house after house after house, and then leaving because her job was to make sure that the devil's work got completed. Mm-hmm. I didn't see her carrying, like, torn up brown paper and string and whatever and stuffing it in the back seat of her VW Bug.
That's because it's not interesting enough. They left that out.
I feel like it would have been a little interesting.
It also would have been interesting for them to find dolls at all these murders, but they didn't, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they thought that would be, like, too much. Like, I think it's ridiculous that this boss at the FBI did not make the connection.
I agree. Well, speaking of connections this boss did not make, Longlegs is leaving messages at the sites of each of these murders, and the messages are written in code. And at one point, our heroic hero,
the heroic
hero who has no emotions, deciphers the code because she gets a card that contains like example pieces that you could use to decipher the code. The code is a simple 1-to-1 substitution cipher. These are puzzles that are in children's puzzle books. Like, the FBI has not figured this out until now.
Okay, I would just like to say, as someone who is terrible at those kinds of puzzles, that not everyone can solve
someone
those
at the
puzzles
FBI can
from nothing, like some people do when we go into escape rooms.
It's
and you
about
just solve
letter
the puzzle
frequency.
Without getting the clue. I know you say that, but that's insane.
I mean, they had tons of examples. It's a rigorous pattern. There's no like, oh, if it's the third letter, then it's one notch higher. No, it's just a substitution.
For sure. There were way more complex codes built into the series numbers. Num3Rs. Than this. It is embarrassing how lame that code was. And that solving it was the way for this movie to show us that she was a genius and like she was like super great at this job. No.
Or that she was getting psychic clues.
Yeah, if she was getting psychic clues, why did she need to get the example?
Because the example was the psychic clues. I don't know.
Wait, did she get it in her brain? I thought she
No, it was in a card.
Oh, yeah. See, I could do that.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually don't know if I could do that.
You could do that. it was so basic. And that was the whole investigation, was like they're really not even putting the effort in at all. And they also didn't handle evidence well. The card she gets that gives her these clues, she writes on it. It's a letter from the murderer, and she's just writing on it to figure out the clues. And I'm like, no.
And also, like, did they fingerprint that card at all? Like, she gets a thing that's helping. Did they do any actual police work? No, she just did her super genius solving of the code.
Yes.
Which then, like, really didn't give them anything. It wasn't until she went and talked to her mom. No, it wasn't until she was... Wait, how... I don't remember how it all worked. There was some kind of conversation with her mom. There was a conversation with the guy. They caught him at a bus stop. How?
He was just standing there. I have no idea how they knew where to look, but he was waiting ready to be caught.
That was an extreme example of like an underpants gnome situation.
Yeah.
Where like there was some information and they were like, we need to catch this guy.
Yeah, they found out who he was.
Yes.
They had a photo of him, and somehow that got them to know where he is.
Oh, that's
in the middle of nowhere.
That's right. At her mom's, she found the photo. And then suddenly the police are all showing up at this like bus stop on a dirt road in the middle of absolutely nowhere in some rural area. It wasn't even like it was a city where other people were like, this dude's standing out here with white face makeup on. Like, what's going on here? No, they just showed up. Maybe that was her, like, once she had the picture, she could like psychically feel where he is.
Yeah, that's what happened. They didn't say that, though.
No, that they didn't show that at all. But at the end, they made a point of spending like 10 minutes explaining in great detail everything that happened and how everything unfolds and all of the things.
Yes.
Which I appreciated because I was not paying as much attention as I should have been.
It was necessary. So the whole movie is this mystery upon mystery. And, why are the dolls? And why is there a metal ball in the doll's head that transmits sound and all these things? I'm like, okay, this could be really cool if this all comes together and it all makes sense in the end. But if you're making a movie and you have to end it with a fairy tale voiceover of here's exactly what's going on, everybody.
And the what's going on, everybody, is the devil made him do it.
Yeah, well, the devil is there, and the devil makes him make dolls, and her mom has to help him, and the dolls make the people crazy.
Also, am I supposed to believe that the devil decided to save this girl's life just because the mom was like, please don't kill my daughter?
Well,
when he's killed none of those other parents pleaded for their children's lives?
No, they were cool with, because they were all crazy. I don't know why she wasn't crazy. He hadn't brought a doll. It doesn't make any sense. What was the scenario where he was out at their house without doing the whole doll thing? There was a doll. He had made a doll because there it was. Maybe her psychic powers made her immune to it or something.
The kids didn't have to be immune to it. The parents had to be immune to it. Did the mom have psychic powers too?
It's genetic. Don't you know that?
Oh. I don't know. It definitely doesn't hold up to close scrutiny.
No, even though it straight up tells you everything you need to know at the end. Which, I mean, that's terrible. That is bad filmmaking, to be like, well, we've got this whole mystery, so let's wrap it up by telling them how it works.
Right. And we have a psychic character, but we're not actually going to use her psychic powers in any way.
No, they really didn't.
That's not going to stop anything from happening.
Or, lead to some sort of exciting...
No.
I mean, I guess the connection with the psychic powers was when she found the picture of him. She wouldn't have known it was a picture of him unless there had been that flash.
Okay, except... that didn't have to be psychic powers. That could just be she saw a picture of him and suddenly the brain barrier that her mind had put up to protect her from the fact that something happened. Nothing even happened to her.
Yeah. Although he was creepy, so. He
was creepy. He also tied her mom up at some point. So she was something probably did happen. And she blocked it out and she saw the picture and suddenly she was like, oh, right, that guy showed up at my house and he was creepy and he tied my mom up and, whatever. So was she the very first of his, is she the first victim? Is that the first house that he went to?
I don't think so. I think the camera family was long before the others. Yeah, because hers was 1974 and the camera family was in 1966.
Wasn't Sabrina the Teenage Witch the daughter from the camera family?
Yes.
So she was supposed to be several years older than the FBI agent?
Maybe I have those dates backwards, but she's definitely not older. I don't know.
I mean, especially unless she was like an infant when it happened.
Yeah.
And they're roughly the same age.
But the doll wouldn't have looked like that because the doll looks like the girl. So
sure.
It would have looked like an infant. So Sabrina the Teenage Witch was one of the victims.
She was a crazy person.
Mm-hmm. Who survived?
No, she jumped off.
Well,
that was the
right,
death on the 13th, was she jumped off a building.
Yeah.
Which they just kind of threw out at the end.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well...
But she did survive the serial killing part of the event.
But why?
Why anything?
And why did he go
I
visit
say.
her? And why was she happy after he went? Like,
happy as peaches, Sully.
Yeah, that dialogue. Who wrote that? With the I could poke out your eyes. Like what? What? Who do you think you are talking like right now?
That was crazy person talk.
It wasn't. It didn't sound like that though. It sounded like it was trying to be like hillbilly speak. Like this is a like uneducated family, and using some kind of Appalachian dialect.
Maybe that's it. It's a dialect we don't know that is very accurate.
That has never been used in any other horror movie where they love to have Appalachian poor people be the somethings in it. Like, it felt so ridiculous.
And boy, I just want to do whatever so he says me to do. Like if he told me to take a jumpy out a window, I'd surely do.
Yeah.
That dialogue felt so ridiculous. And I am embarrassed for Sabrina the Teenage Witch that she had to say those lines.
Yeah, it was strange. Very strange. I don't know. Everything was strange.
I guess what it all comes down to is this was a Nicolas Cage movie.
But it wasn't, though. Like, they tried to de-Cageify the whole movie. Like, he was very hidden in there, and he didn't get to do much. Like, I mean, he got to be crazy, like always.
But his Nicolas Cage stink got on everything.
I guess that's true.
Because he's a producer.
Yeah.
And I say that because I know people, like, I'm being mean to Nicolas Cage right now. I actually really love a lot of Nicolas Cage movies. I think they're dumb.
Yeah.
But I enjoy them in their dumbness. This one I did not.
Ratings.
All right, we're going to get into it.
Let's do it.
This movie was very well put together, well presented. Like, it was such a grim tone, but it was well executed, and it looked really good. And that's usually my thing. Like, I just love those slow, bleak movies that are just so boring, but in a good way. But, like, I think there's something missing here where in an FBI movie, they go to the scene of the crime, everybody's somber and upset that it's happening, and they're like, oh, what's going on? And they interview a guy, and oh, boy, this is real tough, and it's all very dark and negative. But then they go back to the office, and they're drinking coffee and joking about it. You have those moments to bring you up out of it, and this had 0 moments of that. They stayed in looking at a dead body mode for the entire movie, and it just didn't feel good at all, which, I mean, that's sort of the point.
They didn't even have the, like, dark levity of... It doesn't have to be that you're, like, drinking coffee and having jokey times. Even just, like, going to a bar and, being your alcoholic selves that are that way because your life is so bleak and your job is so bleak. And, there's some, like, rock music playing from the jukebox and your...
70s music.
Yes. No. But, like, they didn't even have that. There were no moments where these were actual human beings with human emotions.
Yeah, because they didn't have those.
Nope.
At all. And it's just so bleak. And I don't, it's so hard for me because I really like that. I like those so bleak movies like Let the Right One In, where it's just, they're in the dead of winter and everybody's dead inside. That's wonderful. But just not this. This was not pleasant. And that's not even my main problem with it. It didn't make sense as an investigation. They didn't do the investigation properly. It felt like really bad writing, which, you know, the movie doesn't feel like it's written badly. It feels very professional. But if you examine it, you're like, why would they do that? Why are they picking that up without gloves? Why is she writing on evidence? All these things that just don't make any sense and shouldn't have gotten past people writing a movie. And then in the end, all the complex mystery bits come together to kind of nothing. They don't really tie together that well. And they're explained by her mom reading a fairy tale about her existence, and not by solving anything. It's just a failure for me, just a total failure. Like, I didn't hate it, but that's because I didn't know where it was going. It's kind of like The Open House, only not that bad, where it seems good all along until at the end it's like, oh, it turns out none of that actually ties together, and we've got nothing.
Right.
So I wanted there to be some logic to it, and there wasn't. So I can only give this movie 1.5 70s lyrics out of 5. And it feels really wrong because it was very nicely done, but it was just bad at its core. It was rotten at the core.
Wow.
Is that terrible?
No, I don't think it's terrible at all. And in fact, I would even argue that it was worse than The Open House. Because
that's a bad rating.
No, not the overall rating, no. But like The Open House, up until the end, everything held together so well that it was such a disappointment when suddenly it was just like, meh, we don't care about, we're not going to do anything with this. We've woven this tapestry. There's all these loose ends, and we're just going to leave them dangling and head on to the next yard. Yeah. Like, it was wild how abruptly the good ended and the bad started. And with this one, like all the things you pointed out, the bad was woven into the story.
It really was, like, throughout.
You're exactly right with the FBI work. It's so clear that they did not have an FBI consultant anywhere near this movie. They didn't have somebody look at the script. They didn't have somebody on set. They did not have anyone who knew anything about investigating work anywhere near them, because all of those things, you and I know those things from watching TV.
Yeah, maybe we're wrong. Maybe it really is totally slapdash.
I don't think so.
They had a consultant. He was like, no, we don't care. We just scribble all over the evidence we get.
Gloves? Nah, that's just something they made up for TV. No, I don't think that that's the case. So not only did they not have someone who had any experience in FBI work or police work of any kind, but apparently they've also never watched any shows or movies with police work in it, because, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Ugh. So I think while there is something really terrible about writing a great setup and failing to close it, there's something maybe even worse in my mind about writing a mediocre setup and still not even being able to write any kind of closing that comes close to your mediocre setup. It just was disappointing. I'm sorry, like the whole thing, it could have been interesting in some way. The devil made him do it through magic that they didn't even try to explain. They're just like, well, I guess the devil's all powerful. What?
Yeah, except he doesn't really want to do too bad.
No, he just occasionally...
Wait.
He's fine doing his thing, and every once in a while he comes and murders one family. Nah, that's it.
Except at the end of the movie, her mom was like, no, we have to kill this family because otherwise we're going to go burn in hell. And I'm like, there's no logic to that. Is she saying that the whole thing is she has to keep doing this as long as she lives and then she'll go to heaven? Because that doesn't sound right.
No. I mean, yeah. The whole thing is just bonkers from beginning to end. When you really start to look at what's going on and trying to find the logic of it, there is none. And that's very upsetting to me. I don't disagree that it was a well-produced movie. I mean, good job with that aspect of it, Nick, I guess. I don't know.
He's just a producer and an actor.
This is what I'm saying. He produced it in a decent way. Like, okay, it's not my cup of tea, but like the red and the blue, like all the color saturation and the, weird fading in and out and I don't know, all the stuff, the gimmicky stuff that they did. It worked. It was creepy. It set a tone. But
it did.
Then they didn't follow through on that tone at all, and so that's upsetting. I am trying to decide if I'm going to copy you or if I'm going to give it a 1.
Ooh.
I know. That seems excessive.
I thought I was being excessive.
Here's the thing. Like, yeah, it feels a little excessive, but then I'm like, what did I like about it? What was good about it? Nothing. I'm not giving this movie a 2 because there was nothing. Like, usually there's got to be at least some aspect of it that I enjoyed, and I just did not enjoy this movie. So, apparently I'm feeling a little salty, a little spicy today. I'm going to give Longlegs 1 70s lyric out of 5. It was a disappointing movie.
Wow.
Especially since it should have been right in my movie watching wheelhouse, and it just failed miserably to do that. So, 1. Boo.
Yeah, it was supposed to be good. People were like, "Oh, scary movie." That's why I was going to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, we got tricked.
The devil did it.
You know the greatest trick the devil ever pulled?
Making us watch Longlegs?
Yes. But let's see what tricks he has up his sleeve for next week when we watch another movie and have a great fun time instead of a bleh time.
I hope so.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody, do the weenus. The weenus is a dance.